Hey, Kenna! What kind of a response is this to my wedding invitation? Why are you not planning on coming out to my wedding? And just like my response to that invite said, right now I'm pregnant. And it just so happens that the day I'm expecting is also the day of your wedding. My belly will be very large by then, and I just don't think it will be a good time for me. I'd feel bad if I had something happen at the wedding and I needed to go to the hospital, so I'll just stay home that day. You are totally fine, Kenna. And just because your belly will be big and you'll be expecting your baby, then you won't be causing any problems for me. And when it comes to those that are just coming to see the wedding, you all don't need to stand up and can just sit around and watch me have my special day. So there really is no reason for you not to come. But there is a chance I could start feeling terrible out of nowhere. And what if my water broke right then and there and I needed to make a break for it? Well, then just do your best not to let your water break while at the wedding. That's all you have to do, right? Just hold yourself together and everything will be fine. What? By the way, why don't you just move the date in which you're expecting to have that baby? Tell the hospital that you want to push the date back by a month. You should be able to change up your schedule enough to match mine, right? What? There is no way something like that is possible for me. Of course it is. As long as you just put a little effort into things, you can do anything. Also, you just so happen to be a gynecologist, right? That makes you a pro when it comes to having babies, so you should be capable of choosing when to have your baby. Me being a gynecologist or any sort of pro when it comes to women and babies has nothing to do with me giving birth. All of the troubles that come with pregnancy and having the risks as well are the same for everyone. Also, I so happen to be carrying twins, which makes things even more complicated for me. There are even more risks I need to worry about, and the troubles of carrying around 2 babies instead of 1 really wears me down. So, what you're saying is you really don't plan on coming to my wedding? Your sister-in-law is literally going to be getting married here. Are you trying to tell me I'm not worth enough to where you'd be willing to come with that big gut of yours? What? I am finally getting married! This 36-year-old woman who is close to being in her 40s is finally getting married. Yet you're going to act like an old woman like myself isn't worth crap to you and that you don't want to come to my wedding? All right, I get it then. I never said anything like that, Esta. The whole reason I don't want to come is because I don't want to cause you and your guests any problems. I know very well that you've been looking forward to your wedding for a long time now. That's why I don't want to be there while I'm in the state that I'm in. If you don't want to cause me any trouble, then you have to come to my wedding. I will not have even one of my invited guests not showing up on my very special day. If you really don't end up coming, then you'd be embarrassing me very much. What? Have you been having troubles with some of your guests already? As a matter of fact, yes. So far, out of all my friends, not a single one of them is able to come. They've all been married for some time now, and because of that, the timing for my wedding isn't the best. They all seem to be pregnant now and very busy dealing with that. I sent them all invites and everything, but all of them have told me that they can't make it because they need to care for themselves. Others just had their babies and said they'll have to be with their babies and won't be able to make it. It is a very difficult challenge going out after just having a baby or when you're close to having your baby. You'll be going through different stages of feeling nauseous, and the same thing continues even after having the baby. There's also the baby to think about if you've already had them, and they'll need to be watched all day and night. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is for all women who are pregnant or just had their baby. Huh? Well, I'm not going to take all of that as an answer to my wedding. I went out to all of their weddings and watched them have the times of their life. Yet now they're all just ignoring me when it's time for me to have some fun. This is screwed up. They've all told me that they will send me gifts and stuff still, but that's not what I'm worried about. But they have things going on in their lives, and you have things going on in yours. Just because schedules don't match up for everyone doesn't mean you can start lashing out about it. I already have to deal with the sad reality that I don't have many friends, whereas my husband has all kinds of friends from all over. He's going to have at least 4 times the amount of guests at the wedding that I have. Well, now that you mention him, your husband Mark is a very outgoing and bright person, right? The way he's always able to hold a conversation with everyone makes it pretty obvious as to why he has so many friends. Yet I don't have anywhere near the amount of friends he has, and that's going to embarrass me when it comes time for my wedding. And now you're telling me you're not coming? There's no way that's happening, all right? You are coming to my wedding whether you think you can make it or not. This is an order from your sister-in-law.
I heard everything, Kenna. You're pregnant now, and you're carrying twins? Are they both boys? Is one a boy and is one a girl?
One is a boy and one is a girl. And they both came from the same egg, I've been told, so even though they'll be different genders, they'll both share the same looks.
Identical twins, then. Oh, those two are going to be such cute little kids. I'm sorry if I'm getting so worked up over all of this. I just really love kids is all. And after I was told about you by Esta, I just had to message you all about how excited I am.
You don't have to be sorry for that. Seeing you so happy and excited about my babies makes me feel so loved. But did you just say that you really like kids? I never expected something like that out of you, Mark.
I happen to love working a lot as well, which keeps me away from the house all the time, and I never get any chances to settle down, but I'm getting close to becoming 40 years old. I think pretty soon here we should try for kids as well. I'll need to talk with Esther about that, though, since she's going to be the one carrying them. But I'm so excited about having kids right now that I'd like to get her pregnant in the next year or so.
Is that right?
I was also told about how you're expecting to have those twins on the same day as our wedding. So not only will I be marrying my favorite woman ever, but I'll also become an uncle to a very cute pair of kids. Well, this is like a dream come true for me. I'm going to do everything in my power to be the best uncle to ever walk this earth. So be prepared for me to spoil the heck out of those two.
Please spoil them all you want. And if things aren't too busy for you after your wedding, please come out and see them while I'm recovering from giving birth. I'll make sure to text you some pictures of them as well once things have calmed down a little. Of course.
What? Are you sure that's all right?
Of course I am.
Wow. I can't even hold back all my excitement anymore now. All right. Good luck with your babies, Kenna. I've heard that having to carry and give birth to twins is a very hard task, so I'm praying for both the health of your babies and for the health of you.
And I'll be praying that both you and Esta have an unforgettable wedding with one another. On that day, I have to be focused on my own health and watching for the babies to come, so I won't be able to attend your wedding. I hope you can understand that.
Of course I understand. You don't have to worry about it. Actually, if you forced yourself to come out and see us, I'd probably send you home. Anyway, let your husband know I say hi, and good luck to him as well.
Hey, you! Kenna! Why have you still not arrived at my wedding? I made sure to tell you that I would not let you miss my wedding, right? And I never said that I was coming, correct? Also, as a reminder to you, I made sure to send you a message yesterday letting you know I wouldn't be coming. My water broke a bit sooner than I expected, and so I had to go to the hospital. And not even 3 hours ago, I gave birth to my twins. That is the worst timing for you to let your water break. You are a freaking gynecologist, so you should have been able to do something to keep your water from breaking. Why would you let it break the day before my frickin' wedding? I told you it is impossible to control something like that. Giving birth is something that none of us can really control. So stop talking about my pregnancy and the birth of my children as though it's something I could just push back by a couple of days. Oh, shut up! What do you mean giving birth isn't something we can control? You just needed to keep those babies in a little longer. Excuse me? What did you just say to me? You know what I said. Or better yet, you should have just had the doctors cut those babies out weeks ago. Then you could be better by now and coming to my wedding. Well, at least you've had your twins now and can come here without them. What the actual heck are you going on about right now? There was no way for me to have the babies cut out of me early, and I wasn't going to be able to just hold them in. Now stop it with all of that nonsense and just let me be. I just had my babies 3 hours ago and would like to relax and get my strength back. None of this is nonsense. Everything I'm telling you to do is easy. All you had to do was cut that gut of yours open and get those kids out of you. Easy. At least they're out of you now, so you can make your way over here. It's been 3 hours now, which is long enough for you to be feeling better and at my wedding. Now let's go. Huh? I already said this before, but I'm not letting any more of my guests not show up today. I already have less guests invited to my wedding than my husband, and I will not let that number drop anymore. So hurry it up and come to my wedding. You just had those 2 babies, so have the hospital look after them now while you come here, all right? So stop acting like a jerk, take a deep breath, and get out of that hospital bed. Do you have any idea how hard it is on a woman when she has a baby? And for me, you can multiply that pain and intensity by 2. I can't even get out of bed right now because I can't even walk. So there is no way I'm going to be able to come all the way out to your wedding. Huh? I don't give a damn that you're a doctor. Now get your ass to my wedding right now. You're not special for having some babies. Hundreds of thousands of women are having babies all the time. So stop trying to get special treatment for what you've done and suck it up and come to my wedding. This is all getting way too out of hand. You seem to only be worried about yourself right now. Well, of course I am, and that's because today is the day of my wedding. I am leading actress today, and that means all of you should be coming to spoil me. You are a frickin' gynecologist, so you should be more than capable of coming here after having those babies. Bring all the presents you have for me and get to this venue right now. I don't even care if you have to crawl all the way to my wedding. All right, understood. I want you here as fast as you can move. If you are late by even a second, I will not forgive you. You have 27 minutes now, so grow some wings if you have to and move. All right, I'll make sure to do just what you asked and crawl my way to your wedding. I'll do everything I can to make you the center of today. But make sure you don't regret what you've asked from me, not even for a minute. Huh? Now I need to find a way out of this bed and get going. You, Kenna! What the actual frick have you done? Because of you, my whole wedding has been ruined. How the hell are you going to take responsibility for all of this? Why are you blaming me right now? I did what you told me and used all of my energy to get to your wedding today. And then after arriving to the wedding venue in the taxi I called for, I crawled my way up the steps and inside, covered in mud from the sidewalk. That's what you asked me to do, right? I even made sure to tell the venue staff not to bring me a wheelchair since I didn't want to cause any trouble for anyone. I am not playing around right now. I did tell you to crawl your way into here if you had to, but what made you think you should actually do something like that? And you made it here with only seconds to spare before the wedding had to start. But because of you crawling in here like a zombie straight out of a horror film, you scared all of the guests. Some of them even started to scream, and you caused a whole massive commotion. I did hear that one person screaming out that there was a zombie crawling in. Not my fault that just after giving birth, my hair was a mess that I didn't have time or energy to tame. And I didn't have any time to change clothes, so I decided it was best to just come in my hospital robes. Of course, none of this mud on me from crawling inside here helps any, so no wonder everyone thought I was a zombie at first. Well, it's too late now to do anything about everyone being in such a panic over you, but you knew something like that would happen coming in here. And now I'm being asked over and over again by tons of angry people why I'd invite someone to my wedding who'd just given birth. All because of you, everyone is furious with me. Everyone's pretty upset with me as well, Esta. They're all convinced that I let you convince me into coming out here when I just had twins. Everyone is asking me now to go and lay down until a taxi comes to take me back to the hospital. So right now I'm in one of the changing rooms taking a break and drinking some much-needed water. You might be hearing me in here every so often coughing from this cold I caught, but please don't mind it and have that wedding. Huh? You're telling me to continue having my wedding? You think I can have a wedding now after you came crawling in here? All you have to do is forget that I ever came here and enjoy the plans you made with Mark. So far, I haven't heard any music playing or anything, so I'm wondering if everything's all right. Can you please get things going now, since I made all that effort in getting here to watch you and my brother have the happiest day of their life? This isn't some kind of frickin' joke, you idiot! There is no wedding anymore because the wedding has been canceled. Because Mark is frickin' pissed off with me now, the wedding can't happen. And right now, a lot of the guests are getting up and heading home. What? I came all the way out here for your wedding to be canceled? This is all your fault. Mark has been tearing into me this whole time now and won't listen to a single word I have to say. He keeps going on about how I forced a weak and tired woman to come all the way to my wedding after she had just given birth. And he wants to know what I think of mothers and their newborn babies. The last thing he's told me is that he can't be married to me anymore and that today is over with. Well, that's so sad to hear. But if the wedding really has been canceled, then I'm going to take a nap in here so that I can get some of my energy back. Someone will let me know when the taxi is here for me, so let me sleep for the time being. Goodbye now. I'll talk to you again in a few days, I'm sure.
Kenna, I'm so sorry about what happened to you yesterday. I never thought that Esta could be so ridiculous like that. Are you feeling any better now? I hope that things haven't gotten worse for you because of yesterday, and that you've been able to get plenty of rest since then.
Mark, you don't have to apologize to me for any of that. I'm partially to blame for listening to Esta. But luckily, my recovery hasn't really been affected by any of that, so don't worry about me. Although my doctor and the nurses here at the hospital are pretty upset with me now.
I'm so sorry for everything. I'll make sure to stop by the hospital later to apologize to all the workers who have been caring for you. This was all Esta's and my fault, so please leave all the apologizing to us.
You don't have to be so worked up over all of this, Mark. Now, I'd like to know how things went down after I left. I was going to come and talk to you before I left, but I was too tired to get up at the time, and before I knew it, it was time for me to go back to the hospital with my husband. So I have no clue what happened after I finished texting with Esta.
Naturally, the wedding had to be canceled after that. I had to explain everything to all my guests and then send them all home. And starting today, I'll be talking with Esther about the divorce I have planned now.
So you're going to get a divorce now?
That's just how badly Esta made herself look to me yesterday. I was really thinking that I wanted to start a family with her and everything, but now I can't trust her with having kids or anything. Also, I was really wanting to become the best uncle ever to your two little twins.
It's really unfortunate that you have to end things with a divorce. But if you have any time here soon, I'd love for you to come out and see your niece and nephew. You were a big supporter to me these past few months and helped me have a very safe and happy childbirth for both of my kids.
What? Are you sure about that? I thought after what all happened, you wouldn't really want me coming out to see you any.
But I would really like to see you, Mark. You don't even have to come just yet, but once you're all settled down and the divorce has been dealt with, I'd like you to come and play with my babies.
Well, then I guess I have no choice but to come out and see you now. I really do love kids, especially babies, so I'll make sure to come out and see you all really soon here. In order to do that, though, I'll have to make sure this divorce takes place in the next couple of days here.
Why is this happening to me? My wedding yesterday really was canceled. And to make matters worse for me, Mark is wanting to get a divorce now. Just a second ago, he talked with me about all of it and made me sign those documents. What? So you both are already filling out the papers and getting that divorce? Oh, not only that, though. My younger brother and both of my parents are both pissed at me, so they're wanting to cut all ties with me. They don't want to be related to a shameful woman like me anymore, is what they said. Really? So you're losing all your family now? Why the hell is all of this happening to me? Not only am I losing my husband and my family, but all my friends are leaving me now too. This is all because of you, and now I'm going to have my life completely ruined. What? Even your friends are leaving you now? Well, I never did anything that should have upset your friends, right? Actually, weren't all of your friends too busy to make it to your wedding? And I was asking all of them to come to my wedding yesterday because I needed them. You hadn't shown up yet, and so I needed someone to come and fill in for you. What? I was trying to contact you earlier in the morning, but you weren't answering any of my calls. I started to freak out then, and that's why I started to call all of my friends. I told them all that you were going to be a no-show most likely, and that they needed to come instead. That's when they all started to call me crazy. They couldn't see themselves being friends with someone as selfish as me, and said they no longer wanted to talk to me. I was just trying to get them to come to my wedding. How dare they leave me like that? They're all jerks. I'm sure that wasn't the only thing that led to them all leaving you, right? I don't think anyone who called themselves your friends would end things just because of one phone call where you were trying to get them to come. Did you say anything else to them before or during that call? Anything that wasn't called for? What do you mean wasn't called for? All I did was call them all. Well, I guess at that time I was really freaking out and might have said a few things I probably shouldn't have. I told them that if they had kids, just leave them at home for a couple hours to come see me. And I said that they should care more about their friend that they've had for years instead of some brat they only just gave birth to. That's not just some things you shouldn't have been saying. Those are things that you shouldn't even be thinking. No wonder they all left you. What? I guess everyone has come to realize that you're not the person they thought you were. Who would ever tell someone to leave their newborn kids at home for a few hours so that they can come out to a wedding? I wouldn't want to be friends with someone like that, that's for sure. What? Are you saying I deserve everything that's happening to me then? That's the only thing I could be saying about this, Esta. You were going off on me about how I should have the power to decide when my babies were born. And then you started demanding that I come to your wedding even though it was only a couple hours after I gave birth. You also only ever want to think about yourself without ever giving any thought to what others are going through. Everyone leaving you, cutting ties to you, and divorcing you all have good reasons for it, and you deserve all of it. No way. And the same thing goes for me. Today, I will be taking this time to tell you that I'm cutting ties to you as well. And once we're done here, I'm going to turn my phone off and take all the time I need to rest as a way of making up for yesterday. I also have 2 twins to look after now, so while I'm still in this hospital bed, I want to use every second for myself. Hold on a second, Kenna. Can you talk with my parents about something for me? Talk with them about how I've learned my lesson now, and that I don't want them to cut ties to me anymore. I'm going to be losing my house in this divorce, and I won't have anywhere to go. I want to go back to my parents' house. I'm sorry, Esta, your house no longer wants anything to do with you anymore, so you should leave it at that. And as for myself, I have plenty of things that I need to be well rested for, so I can't talk with them. No way! I'll be going now. After that, from what I was told, Esta had been told by a lot of her friends that they felt bad for not being able to go to her wedding and sent her money as a gift that she could put towards said wedding. Esta went to all of these friends trying to apologize for what she'd said and to thank them for the money, but not a single one of them forgave her. And even though Esta was kicked out of Mark's house in the divorce, nobody was willing to let her stay with them. Right now, she's working her butt off trying to find a new man that will marry her, as she keeps telling herself it'd be impossible for her to remain single for the rest of her life. But of course, she's not able to find anyone worthwhile with the character she has, and so she returns home to her cheap apartment every night crying her eyes out. As for what happened with Mark, he came to the hospital to see my babies and I, and even brought us gifts to show how unhappy he was that he'd become an uncle. He also said once more that he was sorry for what had happened to me, and all I could say to him in response was that he made up for it all by leaving a selfish woman like Esta behind. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.